What's going on, guys? Gast here, giving you another guide on Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. Earlier today we got the new Cipher DLC pack, and there are 4 new acquirable characters for Echoes players to get their hands on: Randall and Emma, and Yuzu and Shade. You can acquire either duo on either route simply depending on which party you control at the time you access the DLC. After completing the map, these units are yours to control. What you need to consider is how these units perform and how they will fit into your squad. Let's talk about Randall and Emma, beginning with the former. Randall's base stats and growths are the following. As a level 5 paladin, he boasts 32 HP, 13 attack, 15 skill and speed, 3 luck, 9 defense, and 7 resistance. His growths are 45% HP, 60% attack, 50% skill and speed, 15% luck, 35% defense, and 0% resistance. His weapon, the Wayward Lance, has a might of 3, hit rate of 70, range of 1, and weight of 2, and has a built-in 20% crit. The combat art that comes with this weapon is Heaven or Hell. This combat art costs 4 HP to lower hit by 30, increase crit by 30, and grant 2 consecutive attacks. At a full forge, this lance has 10 might, 70 hit, and 30 crit. Randall's bases and growths outclass most, if not all, units in the Cavalier line. Zeke and Mycen can probably take better hits, but Randall is much faster than both of them, and his ridiculous growths in attack, speed, and skill will outclass Matilda's growth in those departments. He'll do alright with the Wayward Lance, but you can pass this lance onto a similar unit to Randall but with higher skill and luck. Barons could also benefit from the Brave effect of this combat art as well. On Alm's side, he'll add onto the army of Cavaliers you're going to have by the end game and will just never stop putting in work. And like I said before, Wayward Lance can help slower units have a chance at doubling on player phase. On Celica's side, he's Conrad but with better offensive growths and potentially better availability, but worse luck and res. Deserts and swamps will still be a complete pain in the ass for paladins, but Golden Knights will have the same penalties than Dreadfighters do in these terrain. Additionally, he's just 5 levels short of becoming a Gold Knight, so sprinkle on some EXP fountains and whatnot, and you can get a pretty badass mounted unit on Celica's side. Basically, he's awesome in either route you pick. Next up is Emma, the package deal with Randall. As a level 1 Falco Knight, she has 31 HP, 11 attack, 12 skill, 13 speed and luck, 8 defense, and 14 resistance. Her natural growths are shown here, but after modifiers, she has a 40% HP growth, 35 attack, 40 skill, 50 speed, 60 luck, 35 defense, and 10 resistance. Her weapon, the Trainee Lance, has the following stats: 2 might, 100% hit, 1 range, 0 weight, and the combat art for this weapon is the Solo Triangle Attack, which at 5 HP, the user performs 3 consecutive hits. Fully forged, this lance has a might of 8. With a fantastic hit chance and a modified double line combat art, this lance is great, but Emma's base 11 attack probably won't do much for this combat art. However, you can give this lance to a Baron, and that Baron will be able to put in some big time work as it solves their usual speed issues while also working with their high attack stats. Her base defense and base HP are strangely lower than Falcon Knight bases at 8 and 31 respectively. Compared to Claire and Faye as level 1 Falcon Knights, she's guaranteed to be less bulky than them. She has a great base resistance at 14, meaning she can be a pretty great mage killer on Alm's party before any of your Myrmidons can become Dreadfighters. She won't make much of an impact on physical units though, but then again, neither will Claire or Faye anyway, as Pegasus Knights at least. I'll say that because Emma is a Falcon Knight right off the bat, she beats out both Claire and Faye, since neither of these 2 units will come close to Emma in terms of being mage killers unless you invest in them. In Celica's route, she unsurprisingly fares way better off. The abundance of bad terrain and terrors give Emma a lot of usage. All of her performance pros checks in on this route as well. Competition for the best flyer is a bit stiffer here, as Pala and Catria's strengths play to this route. But Emma will fit right in and do her job taking care of terrors before these 2 promote. And if you don't want to work with Est or just want her to be a triangle attack or support bot, then Emma will serve to be a fine flyer here. Now then, with the first pair out of the way, let's move on to Yuzu and Shade. Yuzu, as a level 1 priestess, has 26 base HP, 15 attack, 13 skill, 16 speed, 9 luck, 7 defense, and 9 resistance. Her natural growths are displayed here, but after modifiers, 30% HP, 60 attack, 65 speed, 55 skill, 35 luck, 25 defense, and 4 resistance. Her sword, the Warrior's Sword, has a might of 6, hit of 80, range of 1, weight of 2, has a built-in 20% crit, and the combat art is Armor Disruptor, a weapon art that costs 5 HP to add plus 5 might, 30 hit, plus 10 crit, and is effective against armored units. Fully forged, this sword has 10 might, 100 hit, and 20 crit. The combat art for the Warrior's Sword basically makes it a one-use, supercharged rapier strike. Her spell list is Fire and Recover at base, and she'll learn Sagittate at level 5. It's a tiny list, but having Sagittate with her base speed of 16 and a whopping 65% speed growth can make her double lots of enemies with Sagittate in no time on ally phase. But the caveat with this, she has a very meager 26 base HP, which is 6 points lower than the Priestess base already, a mediocre 30% growth in HP, and pretty awful defenses. Given that doubling with Sagittate will cost her 16 HP in total, you better hope that 70% hit rate connects twice for that KO. And if she survives, you better hope you heal her up. Her player phase is pretty high risk, high reward, and on enemy phase, fire will most likely double her enemies, but her problem is just her absolute squishiness. On the positive side, she's got a pre-promote class in a priestess to benefit her greatly, since female mages have to promote at level 14. You'll have to play it really safe with her in no matter which path you take. Additionally, Warrior Sword isn't really doing a lot for her, and she'll probably be better off casting Sagittate instead. With a mage ring, she can play it safe by dealing ridiculous damage with her extended range. On Alm's side, she's comparable best to Delthea, as both units are geared more towards dealing a bunch of damage rather than surviving. Their core difference is that Yuzu has a 1 to 3 range Sagittate, while Delthea has a much larger spell list, more utility, but potentially worse availability depending on when you get Yuzu in relation to Alm's side. On Celica's side, she's hindered significantly by the terrain. But again, with the mage ring, she'll be able to play it safe while also taking down big time enemies on the front lines. In either route, she'll absolutely need to stay behind. Her weapon could be a good help for Jesse, as his crit rate is going to be quite high naturally based on his own high skill and luck. In either route, she'll be a decent role player in being the definitive glass cannon and is one of the better candidates for the mage ring. You just need to be super careful or she might end up killing herself on player phase. Lastly, Shade. Shade is a level 3 saint with 30 base HP, 12 attack, 11 skill and speed, 7 luck, 8 defense, and 13 resistance. Her natural growths are here and her modified growths are the following: 35% HP, 45 attack, 35 skill, 40 speed, 40 luck, 35 defense, and 6 resistance. Her spell list is Nosferatu, Silence, and Physic at level 1, Freeze at level 5, Seraphim at level 7, and Rescue at level 10. Shade has insane utility in having this spell list, but actually leveling her up will be a bit more difficult than usual for Saints, as she can only rely on Nosferatu to land kills before she learns Seraphim at level 7. Depending on how you value these particular utility spells, Shade may be good or bad for you. Rescue is really great, but it's 7 levels away. She has pretty interesting growths for a Saint as well. She has a beefy 45% HP growth and defense growth, but they both get reduced significantly by 10 from modifiers. And it's not like you'd want Saints to be a frontline menace either, so it kinda seems like this HP and defense growth go to waste as a Saint class. On Alm's side, Shade is kind of like Faye but much more staff body. She does what Faye will be able to do in time if you invest in her in her cleric class, meaning that you could use this as an opportunity to make Faye into another class if you wanted without losing the very helpful cleric Faye perks. The addition of Shade here makes Alm's route filled to the brim with healers, Seraphim users, and utility casters. On Celica's side, Shade will do great here. The difficult to deal with terrain won't make Shade lag behind that much, as Physic and Rescue will make her incredibly useful in every map. Additionally, Silence can knock out canters for a turn to give you less problems. Freeze could be a great late game tool to hinder the oncoming Dread Fighters from storming your team, especially in Duma's Tower, where there is no terrain hindrance and Dread Fighters have all the freedom in the world to attack you. The problem with Shade having Silence and Freeze is that her base attack is 12, meaning that these spells are only going to have a range of 3, so you are going to have to get in close quarters anyway to use them. That said, the 45% attack growth that Shade boasts will help eventually make that range farther. Another perk of having Shade on Celica's side is that Shade with Rescue can replace Atlas's role in the mage line as being the Rescue Sage. And given that Yuzu is a package deal with Shade, you could make Alice into a mercenary and he could possibly make good use of the warrior sword. The trouble with deciding which duo should go where comes from the fact that Randall and Emma and Yuzu and Shade are package deals. Personally, I'd suggest bringing Randall and Emma with Alm and Yuzu and Shade with Celica. While all units fare quite well on Celica's side, Yuzu and Shade pose the great risk of redundancy with Alm. The warrior sword adds onto the arsenal of swords for your dread fighters on Celica's route, and she'll be able to contribute as a definitive glass cannon for this route. Meanwhile, Shade can make best use of her spell list and will be able to deal with terrain easily thanks to her utility. Well guys, that will do it for this video on Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadows of Valentia. I worked all night trying to get this video out as soon as possible, and I am incredibly exhausted right now. So if you did enjoy this video, I would sincerely appreciate it if you left a like and tell me what you think of these new recruits. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Fire Emblem Echoes, content, and guides. I'm Gas, and I'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.